support on climate change. Saraki says appeal court's verdict vindicates him. In business news, CBN boosts currency market with $210. And in sports, FIFA grants Algeria victory against Nigeria. In entertainment, Nigerians react to Techno's meeting U.S. rapper Drake. In the foreign scene, Democrat defeats Roy Moore in Alabama race, dealing setback to Trump. We'll take the news in full after the short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We'll take the news in full now. President Muhammadu Buhari in Paris appealed to the international community to support Nigeria's commitment to reducing the negative effects of climate change. The president's special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesugba, in a statement in Abuja said Buhari made the appeal in a submission to the One Planet Summit in Paris, France. The summit with the theme Climate Change Financing was being attended by over 60 heads of state and governments, as well as representatives of non-governmental and private organizations. President Buhari told participants of the summit that Nigeria could not implement its nationally determined contributions without adequate financial, technical, and capacity building support from developed countries. He said Nigeria had already ratified the Paris Agreement in May 2017, but that the country's national determined contributions to reduce emission by 20% by 2020 and 40% by 2030 could not be attained alone. According to him, the country is not under illusion of the challenges it's facing, having just come out of recession. Now, the wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, inaugurated a 50-bed capacity maternal and children clinic built and equipped by the Aisha Buhari Foundation in Daura, Katsina State. Speaking at the opening of the clinic, Mrs. Buhari decried the poor state of maternal and child health in Nigeria, saying that the situation became possible due to the poor conditions of the primary healthcare facilities. Mrs. Buhari called on stakeholders and well-to-do Nigerians to put in their best and turn the tide by addressing the challenges women faced. She said this prompted her to venture into the program of promoting health of women as a cardinal mission in her life. Mrs. Buhari added that the intervention was aimed at complementing the federal government's effort in providing primary health care services to the less privileged families in Nigeria. Moving on, the president of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has said that the verdict of the appeal court, which dropped 15 out of 18 appeals, was a vindication for him. In a statement issued by Yusuf Olaniyonu's special advisor, media and publicity, Saraki insisted that upholding a no-case submission for 15 out of 18 cases was a vindication for him. The Code of Conduct Tribunal in Abuja, chaired by Danladi Umar, had discharged and acquitted Saraki on the 14th of July over allegations of false asset declaration. His ground was that the prosecution failed to prove its case. The Court of Appeal, in its verdict on the acquittal of Saraki by the Code of Conduct Tribunal, held that the president of the Senate had no case to answer on 15 of the appeals, but referred 3 others to the Supreme Court. In another development, the House of Representatives raised questions over appropriated presidential approval, exempting some special Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation accounts from the Treasury single account. The accounts with funds worth 50 billion naira are still being kept by commercial banks in breach of the TSA policy. Now, the policy provides that all accounts belonging to ministries, departments, and agencies of government should be transferred to the TSA. The TSA, a centralized federal government revenue account, is kept by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Group Managing Director, Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, Dr. Mekanta Barrow, said the federal government would adopt an aggressive measure to tackle the artificial scarcity of petroleum products in parts of the country. He said part of the approach is the directive to the Department of Petroleum Resources to not only dispense free fuel to motorists and other members of the public from filling stations found hoarding products, but seal the such stations. Now, Barrow gave the warning in Ibefu, Ogun State, during the inauguration of 300 million litre tank farm sited in the community by Petrolex Mega Oil City. Now, although long queues of motorists have reduced considerably in Abuja and other neighboring states, the fuel situation is yet to normalize. Now, this is despite the directive by the Federal Executive Council to the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachuku, to end the scarcity by weekend. Now, there are still lines of vehicles waiting to buy the premium motor spirit in and around the Federal Capital Territory, even as hawkers traded it freely in jerry cans. The Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation NNPC assured Monday that supply of the product was increasing and the situation would normalize during the week. Meanwhile, Brent crude oil prices jumped above $65 per barrel after the shutdown of the Forties North Sea pipeline knocked out significant supplies from a market that was already tightening due to OPEC-led production cuts. The federal government completed the process of handing over the State House Marina to the Lagos State government. The process, which started about 20 years ago, was completed with the signing and exchanging of documents between the state government and the federal government in Abuja. The Lagos State Governor Akiwumi Ambode signed for the state government, while the Minister of Power Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, signed on behalf of the federal government. Moving into politics, Governor of Bayelsa State and Chairman of the PDP National Reconciliation Committee, Syriac Dixon, said that the committee had commenced contracts with aggrieved aspirants who lost out at last Saturday's national convention of the party. Dixon told newsmen in Abuja after a meeting of the committee that the committee would reach out to former Minister of Education, Professor Tunde Adeniran, former Deputy National Chairman of the party, Chief Bode George, and broadcast mogul Chief Raymond Dokbesi, among others. The governor urged party leaders and members to be careful of their utterances about the conduct and outcome of the convention. He added that the committee would also interact with those who left the party in order to facilitate their return to the fold of the party. Members of the committee include Aminu Wali, Deputy Chairman, Chief Onyema Ugochukwu, Senator Joy Emordi, former Minister of State FCT, Oloye Jumoke Akinjide, former Minister of Information, Chief John Ode, former Minister of Environment, Mr. Laurentia Malam, and former Minister of Police Affairs, Alhaji Adamu Waziri Maina. You're still watching NCTV News at the hour of 8, and still to come, CBN boosts currency market with $210. FIFA grants Algeria victory against Nigeria, and Nigerians react to Techno's meeting with US rapper Drake. Democrat defeats Roy Moore in Alabama race, dealing setback to Trump. We'll have the details after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
My name is Chris Okafor.
My name is Uche Uduma.
My name is Bella Kobe.
My name is Mono Balagobo.
My name is Dorkon Rimdan, and you're watching Nigerian Central Television.
Welcome back. We're going to go right into business news now. The Central Bank of Nigeria said it had injected $210 million into the interbank foreign exchange market, extending efforts to boost liquidity and alleviate dollar shortages. The bank said in a statement it had released $100 million earmarked for the wholesale market, $55 million for small businesses and individuals, and $55 million for certain dollar expenses such as school fees and medical bills. According to figures obtained from the bank, Tuesday's interventions were for the wholesale, small and medium enterprises and invisibles segments of the market. The acting director of corporate communications at the CBN, Mr. Isaac Okarafor, disclosed that the bank offered the sum of $100 million to the wholesale segment, while the SMEs and invisibles segments each received the sum of $55 million. He reiterated that the releases were meant to boost liquidity, trade, and ease of remittances for legitimate personal commitments. Foreign investors' inflow into the nation's capital market decreased by 18.30% from 48.42 billion naira in September 2017 to 39.56 billion in October 2017, according to the report from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Foreign outflows also decreased by 21.67% from 35.85 billion naira in September 2017 to 28.8 billion naira in October 2017. Total transactions at the nation's bourse decreased by 1.31% from 129.52 billion naira recorded in September 2017 to 127.82 billion naira, about $0.42 billion in October 2017. Now, the aggregate value of transactions from January to October 2017 increased by 79.96% from 991.11 billion naira recorded in 2016 to 1.783 trillion naira in 2017. We're going to move right into sports now. Nigeria's Super Eagles have lost 3 points in their 2018 World Cup qualifier. The loss came as FIFA gifted Algeria a 3-0 walkover defeat of the Eagles because Nigeria fielded an ineligible player in the match. The fixture on the 10th of November had ended 1-1, but FIFA on Tuesday added that the decision did not affect the final standings in African qualifying competition Group B. It said the decision also did not affect Nigeria's qualification for the FIFA World Cup in Russia, as they had finished 6 points clear of Zambia. The player involved in the match played in Constantine was Shehu Abdullahi, and the Nigeria Football Federation is also receiving a fine of 6,000 CHFs. The sanction relates to Abdullahi failing to serve the automatic one-match suspension imposed on him as a result of receiving a caution in 2 separate matches of the same competition. Now, FIFA in a statement also said East Timor had forfeited 7 games in the World Cup qualifiers for fielding a total of 9 players who were ineligible because of nationality. Now, this was based on a decision previously taken by the Asian Football Federation. In entertainment news, photos of American rapper Drake and singer and producer Techno in a meeting surfaced online, and Twitter has gone agog. Drake took to his Instagram page to share photos of himself and Techno, which he captioned Tech Time. JJ Omojua tweeted that if Techno pulls this Drake moves off, produces and gets in songs and videos with him, bid him goodbye to this level. Drake will drag him into the stratosphere. Exciting prospects here, and Great Gracious also tweeted, Techno produced If for Davido and everyone loved it, but if they had told you that Techno would one day produce songs for Drake, you would have said rah-rah. Stand-up comedian Olateju Oyelakin, popularly known as Teju Babyface, said that he decided to set up a mentorship academy to fulfill his burning passion of impacting knowledge. Babyface last June set up a virtual academy called Teju Babyface Mentorship Academy to mentor some youths. The insurance graduate from the University of Lagos said the academy was open to all youths ready to learn through the easiest means, the social media. The virtual academy, according to him, is to discover and develop young Nigerians and help them to solve their problems through interface with tutorials on the internet. The UN Sustainable Development Goals ambassador said that his real person was the one who would like to guide the youths on what they could achieve in life. In the foreign scene, Doug Jones has become the first Democrat in 25 years to win a U.S. Senate seat for Alabama after a bitter campaign against Republican Roy Moore. His unexpected victory deals a blow to President Donald Trump, who backed Moore, and narrows the Republican majority in the Senate to 51-49. With 99% of votes counted, Moore refused to concede on Tuesday night. He fought a controversial campaign in which allegations surfaced of sexual misconduct with teenage girls. Moore, a firebrand conservative who has said he believes that homosexual activity should be illegal, has repeatedly denied the claims against him. The Gambia has become the latest country to deny that it is selling a Siberian businessman land for his plan to revive the Russian monarchy. The Gambian president's website says the Gambia has not signed any memorandum of understanding with the Romanov Empire, represented by Councillor Prince Anton Bakov. Bakov told reporters back home that the Gambia had agreed to let him build artificial islands on its Bijol islets as a base for his Romanov Empire microstate, in return for $60 million and use of the proposed high-tech smart city of St. Nicholas. But the Gambian government says it did not agree to Bakov's proposal during his visit last month. They also raised concerns about the environmental and financial implications of the artificial island project. We're going to take a short break before we round up the news at 8 with our major top stories. We'll be right back.
My name is Chris Okafor.
My name is Uche Uduma.
My name is Bella Kobe.
My name is Mono Balagobo.
My name is Dorcon Mimdan, and you're watching Nigerian Central Television.
Welcome back to Round Up NCTV News. We're going to recap our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari in Paris appealed to the international community to support Nigeria's commitment to reducing the negative effects of climate change. The president of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has said that the verdict of the appeal court, which dropped 15 out of 18 appeals, was a vindication for him. In business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria said it had injected $210 million into the interbank foreign exchange market, extending efforts to boost liquidity and alleviate dollar shortages. In sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles have lost 3 points in their 2018 World Cup qualifier. The loss came as FIFA gifted Algeria a 3-0 walkover defeat of the Eagles because Nigeria fielded an ineligible player in the match. And in entertainment news, photos of American rapper Drake and singer and producer Techno in a meeting surfaced online, and Twitter has gone agog. In the foreign scene, Doug Jones has become the first Democrat in 25 years to win a U.S. Senate seat for Alabama after a bitter campaign against Republican Roy Moore. That's it for this morning's news. Thank you for joining us. Once again, I am Folake Adesugba, wishing you a great morning.
My name is Chris Okafor.
My name is Uche Uduma.
My name is Bella Kobe.
My name is Mono Balagobo.
My name is Dorcon Rimdan, and you're watching Nigerian Central.